We're going to assume they're playing a 1-3-1, in which case they would do it like this. But they're doing the same thing. They're responsible for zones. And so the only way you can work a pick in a zone is by not taking the guy across this line. And so on these, you vary it up, but it's the middle person who's going to be going to set the pick in his zone, so we can have a flash here and a flash here. Doesn't change. We want the ball in the alley. We need to keep the ball in the alley. So anytime we get the ball outside of the alley, it needs to immediately get back to inside the alley. And so if the ball comes here, so in this situation, the ball comes here to him, you need to flash middle. You're going to fill that way. You're going to fill that way. Because if it happens correctly, the ball moves quickly. It doesn't stop. You're not holding it. You're not dribbling out of the press. I don't want to see you guys trying to dribble out of the press. I want to see the ball moving, and you need to have pass fake. So anticipate. Their job is not to do anything but get in your face and try to pressure you. So your job is to fake them out and get the ball around them. Not dribbling, but with passes. And if what we should end up in doing once we get this going, hopefully by the end of the season, my goal is, once you get it to here, it's in essence like the three-man weave. Once the pass is made to here, then it's a three-man weave down the court, and we're going to get a fast break. That's the goal of a press break. You get 1 or 2, 3 layups in a row on against a press, and they can stop pressing. Because going down on a 12-point swing, because the other team got 3 layups, that's tough to overcome. So let's talk about the zone defense. Most teams are either going to do a 4-1 or a 5-out. Doesn't really change anything regardless, other than you have a guy roaming around in the middle if they have a 4-1. His job is to flash to the open spots in a diamond fashion. So I'm going to go over the movement that happens on each scenario. So the ball's here. If the ball gets past here, your responsibility is there. You're coming out to close out. You're coming halfway into the lane and taking 1 step up. You're flashing to this side of the post. And this moves up in center field back here to stop a pass, because what will happen is they'll try to go to the corner or they'll try to go cross court. So that's if the ball goes there. Now I'm going to take the arrows out. Okay, so let's say they skip past it over here now. So now the ball's over here. So now what immediately needs to happen is what? You shift over here.
This guy's probably going to be down. This guy goes to the middle.
Your responsibility is in the corner. You're coming over to take this guy.
Shifts up, one step.
Shift and up, just like the backwards. It's just like a mirror.
Yeah.
Okay? So our defense needs to be shifting back and forth. The key is, the purpose of a zone defense, a 2-3 zone, is to keep the ball out of here. The ball doesn't enter here. If they get the ball there, then they're going to get an easy basket or a bad shot. It just depends. But that's how you beat a zone. Same thing. If someone's playing a 2-3 zone against us, you either beat it by shooting out here over it to pull them out of it, or you beat it with a man flashing through. And in essence, as soon as the ball gets here, then it's in essence like a little mini fast break, and everybody's cutting to the basket. The key is to get the defense moving. And so for us, that's like I said, just like I went over all the shifts that you're supposed to do. That's the same kind of flow we want to take advantage of when we're playing against the zone. But we need to be able to go 4-1. We haven't really ran any 4-1 yet in practice at all. And so we've got to be able to go over 4-1 with our offenses.
That guy runs baseline, right?
Okay? Doesn't change anything on any of the plays, except for this post man in essence has moved out. Okay, so we can still call ballpark. You're still going to come here and set the pick. You're going to still go there and set the pick, and it's going to be the cross action. And then you're going to set the next pick. Set the next pick. And so it doesn't change anything other than where you return to. Instead of return to the post, you return it back to the corner. So the plays don't change. That's the beautiful part of motion offense is we can shift things around. We could play 5 out and run the same thing. We can still run ballpark on 5 out. You can still run every single play that we have in all these. I can still call indigo and have a double screen on the side. All it does is when this happens, the only reason you want a 5 out against a 2-3 zone is what have you in essence done?
Spread them out.
Who's this guy going to cover?
No one.
Okay, so you've created a situation where if you move the ball quick enough, somebody's going to end up with an open shot. You beat a zone with passing, which is why I say you have to beat the press with the pass, because a press, 99.9% of the time at this level, is going to be a zone press scheme. Very rarely you're going to see a man press scheme. Because you've got to have 5 athletes that can just flat out fly and don't ever get tired. Any questions about 4 out, 5 out? It doesn't, like I said, it doesn't change anything as we could call any of the plays. Like we could call Ronda from this. We can call any of those things. All it does is create a bigger lane. If we're doing Ronda, let's see, right, so it's this side. Coming down, setting the screen, the roll is deeper. You just have more room to make the pass in there. And if you know you're calling Ronda, point guards, those handling the ball, try to take the ball to the side you know the action to create your passing lane. Don't get caught in the middle, don't get caught in a place where you don't have an open lane to pass. So first thing we're going to work on is press and press break.